All right, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Okay. Wow, I know I'm early, but it gets dark at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon now. So much for saving daylight. um, oh, gee, what are we gonna do? Well, I'll tell you what we're not gonna do. Um, well, hang on. Before we get too crazy here, I need to go in and change this. Mute myself and change this to that. Okay. And then we'll go back to the video. Can we do that? Can we do that? Can we do that? Can we do that? They changed this interface and I'm like completely messed up. But that's okay. And I need to go to here, right? And there's my chat screen. Okay. We're live and the chat window's open and let's move along. So, well, before we get too far along, let's not forget to mention the drawing, right? The monthly drawing this month is this baby right here. Hey Ken, how are you? Let's see here. Jeff, how are you? So this is the baby right here. All you got to do to win this, send a picture of your latest build to ShutterAce at ShutterAce.com. And you will get put in the drawing. And at the end of the month, well, the beginning of the following month, everybody goes on a spreadsheet and gets a number assigned to them, and then the random number generator picks a number. That's what happens. The hat thing is a little, 20th century, but so yeah, it's that simple. There's not very many entries right now. There's more than there was a few days ago, but still. You got a good chance of winning that kit. So definitely get me a picture of your latest build. ShutterAce at ShutterAce.com. We'll get you in there. Okay. Where am I? Oh, let's see here. Oh, I'm getting a cold, so my head's not screwed on straight. You know how that is? Okay. So, was it the last video or the video from 4 that I talked about this thing? Anyway, so I spent some time looking at this. As you can see, I broke it down into 4 pieces. This is the Enterprise refit. And I thought that was the only place where there was a blemish in the paint. But there's actually some light spots up here and whatnot. Bottom line is I want to fix the paint up a little bit more before I go forward with it, which is going to require me to get some paint, and I don't have any. It's the Tamiya Pearl White lacquer that comes in the spray can. So until I get another one of those, I'm going to shelf this thing again. And normally, honestly, I just move along, but there's so much decal work on this thing that I don't want to risk it. My first thought was like, oh, you get those Aztec decals on there and you won't be able to really see the blemishes. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, nah, I better just wait and do it right. So I am going to get this thing out of here. Right back into the good old shoebox. So are you guys seeing the desktop camera at all, or are you just seeing me? Oh, you were seeing the desktop. Okay, good. I was like, is that working? Anyway, so I'm putting everything back in here. My $1 plastic shoeboxes that I use for all my whips. And it's going to go back to Whipland until I get that paint. And I don't get up to the city too much anymore, so at least not where the hobby shop is. So I don't know when that's going to happen. But paint list in the box. Boom, gone. Okay. So, if you remember a little while back, we talked about this guy. And the issue with this is that... not there. There we go. So the issue is this is the monogram P-47 Razorback kit. And I had to snip the guns off. Well, I didn't have to snip the guns off. I broke a couple of them off, so then I just snipped the rest of them off. Figured I'll just replace them with tubing, right? Well, that sounds easy until you start trying to drill holes. And I don't know if you can see there, but it's not real easy to get those holes in the right spots. Oh, come on. Cooperate. Focus. It's not going to do it. Anyway. You can kind of see them there now. So what I need to do is come up with a way. There we go. I need to come up with a way to what am I thinking? I need to come up with a way that I can drill those holes. So there's two things you need to do. On a P-47, not only is there 4 guns per wing, but they're staggered. Oh, this has got my Thunderbolt kit in it. So let me move this out of the way here. Okay. There we go. All right, so yes, this is an old Coster Ultra Bolt. or parts of it anyway. So, what I was going to do here, or what my thought is I'm going to take, somehow take and make a pattern. Take these wings and somehow make a pattern for those barrels, and make a pattern that, my initial thought was I would make something where, let me get this out of here, where I could take and it would not only line up the barrels in relation to the wing chord, but also set each barrel at the right depth. You know, and like most things in life, I tend to be a little overly optimistic. And go, oh yeah, that should be simple. So, but apparently it's not really as simple as I thought it might be. So what I'm thinking is that I can do, there's a couple of ways for me to do this. One is to take this wing and let's see here. To take this wing, basically build this wing and then build a mold over top of this. Just make like a two-part mold so that I can split it, get it off, or maybe I could just pull it out this way. Yeah, I could probably do that. And then what I could do is I could basically drill these holes all the way through somehow. Well, I don't know. I'm still thinking it through. But bottom line is I need to figure out a way to hang on, I'm trying to do too many things at once. There we go. Trying to get the chat up here so I can see it. Excuse me. Bottom line, what I'm trying to say is I need to not only get these things in line with the chord of the wing, but they also need to be set at the right depth. So my original thought was I could make a single fixture that would allow me to do both by basically casting this and then being able to just cut brass rod or brass tubing, shove it in the fixture, and then use that to hold them into the wing while they dry. The problem with that is that doesn't give me a fixture that allows me to drill the holes. So in reality, I need two fixtures. And there's a couple of ways of doing that. You know, there's like I just said, having the one fixture when you're actually installing the things that will set the depth, or the other option is to cast it like I'm talking about, drill these holes all the way through the fixture so that I can use it as a drilling jig, and also use it to set the barrels through, but then have another fixture that has the correct barrel depth. That would then I'd have to come back and cut the ends off at the right lengths using that jig. I don't know what's the best way to go, but that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's I don't know. It's kind of a shame that they did that way, but it is what it is. I'll figure it out. So what I was going to do with that in mind, I pulled a couple of different manufacturer kits down to look at. So that was another monogram. That was a monogram bubble top. This is the Razorback, obviously. I have a Tamiya Razorback here. Tamiya. I saw there was another discussion on how to say Tamiya on Facebook, and which I thought was interesting. It doesn't really matter how you say it. There's a correct way to say it, but it doesn't really matter, right? I'm sure Mr. Tamiya doesn't care as long as he's getting your cash. So this is the Tamiya, well, this is just the instructions from the Tamiya Razorback kit. And if you've never built one of these, what Tamiya does is, let me find it here. Here it is. Come on, focus. Focus. There you go. So the gun cover is a separate piece, and which it was on the real aircraft. So that goes in. There happens to be stops inside of the wing panel, which you can see here in this picture. Can you see that? See these stops right here? So there's these stops. Come on, focus. Anyway, there's stops right. Yeah, there they are. So there's stops right there. Man, this thing, the depth of field on this thing is crazy. So you put the cover the cover in that goes on the leading edge, and then you slide the barrels in, and the cover's got enough of a collar in it that it keeps them in the correct alignment with the cord, and then the stop obviously keeps you from pushing it back too far. So all of the barrels that they give you are the same length. You just keep pushing it back until you hit the stop. Actually, a really great idea. Easy way to do it. You don't have to keep track of which barrel is which, blah, 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 right? And that's kind of what if I'd realized I was going to end up cutting them off, believe me, I would have done this a completely different way and had already thought through this. But I didn't. That wasn't going to be my plan. Now this is an Academy N model kit. Wow, for some reason I thought I had started painting and doing interior painting on this, but it's still sealed. Anyway, and to be honest, I don't know how they've done theirs, so let's look. Second idea seems easier. Yeah, with the through holes. I think you're right. All right, Academy. Okay, so Academy's actually got open gun bays, and it looks like they've done a combination. So they have the, come on, focus. So anyway, they have the separate cover, the leading edge cover, but then they have different length barrels. And then they got an illustration here of which barrel goes where. It's 9mm, 6mm, 3mm, and then the really short one. So, yeah, so that's not great either. So I'm not sure what to do here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get me some I don't know, I thought about getting some clay, but I might have to just get some casting resin or something and do that. I'm not sure what the best plan of action is there, but we'll figure it out. So there's that. The next thing I wanted to kind of look at, give me 1 second here, let me pull it down. Okay, let me get these books out of here. Now, you know that B-29 I keep talking about finishing that's been on the shelf of doom for 5 years? Well, here's all the bits and pieces. So I actually have the Big Ed photo etch set for this thing. Oh, there's a little spider, and he's dead. Man, how long have you been in there? He's mummified. So, and this is kind of a refresher for me to see where I was. I think I remember. I have a pretty good memory, but... So, this is the gunner station. I don't know. Man, this camera. I thought it was pretty cool, and I'm not as impressed with it as I originally was. So these are... Trying to remember what's what here. So this is the rear tail gunner's backrest. The only PE piece on there is this right here, this quilted part. So that's obviously been primered. This is this wrinkled panel here. This is PE. Kind of tough to get that stuff in there like it's supposed to be. And then this goes here somehow. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to check it all out. But there's that there. This can go back here. So all of these boxes and stuff on here are PE boxes. That was almost everything on there was scraped off and replaced with PE boxes. And I got some pieces here that I don't remember what these are. But these are some more boxes and stuff. And, okay, so here's where I was. So this has, that goes somewhere. All right. So all of this stuff in here is for the consoles. So I don't know if you can see this, but on the B-29, the instrument panels, there's actually two freestanding consoles in front of the pilot and co-pilot seat. So those, I got stuck on those because I needed some wire to hang the rotor pedals on, and I didn't have it at the time. And then I also had an issue where, if you look back here at the flight engineer's compartment, come on, focus. There it is. Okay. You see where all the levers go, all the slots for all the levers? Well, me in my infinite wisdom decided that I didn't like the PE levers because they were flat, right? And they didn't have any dimension to them. So I was like, I'll just build this thing. And of course you have to put those in from the back side. So forget that. There you go. So forget that. I'll just use pins or something. I'll use something else in there. So I'm kind of stuck there too. But really, it's not really. I kind of got burned out on it. Is really what a lot of it was about. This is a lot of PE. And I actually started this. This was my first real PE project. And what got me going on it was everybody getting all uptight about PE and how difficult it is and this and that and the other thing. And I decided I wanted to do a project and basically show everybody that, this isn't that hard. It's just time consuming. I just figured out this goes here, doesn't it? I think that goes there. Doesn't really matter right now. But yeah, so I've really been kicking this around, and I'm really kind of getting excited about getting back onto this thing. Where it's going to end up, I have no idea. Because my display case here is full. But that's what happens to display cases, right? They get full. But if you look at let me see here. Hang on. If you've never actually seen a monogram B-29 kit size-wise, here's the fuselage half. Okay, this sucker is what? This is about 23 inches without the front and the rear on it. So yeah, it's pretty big. And the wing section here. So here's the top of the starboard wing, and that is About 16 and a half. You know. Oh, thanks, Ken. Yeah, it's a lot of PE, but you know, it's like I said, I started it because I wanted to basically see even an idiot like me can do PE. It just takes time, you know, and I'm personally not a big fan of it. I'm not. I think it's good in some instances, but I think in most cases, a lot of the cases that it gets used for, I don't see the value. This kit is a perfectly good example because once this thing is buttoned up, you can't see nothing. You know, and it goes back to, for me, it's kind of like the argument with the, you know, not argument, but the discussion with the the Revell B17F, the 48 B17F, compared to the Monogram B17G, and how much more details inside the Monogram kit. But the truth is, you can't see it. Hang on a second. I gotta go see what's going on. Yay. Okay, well that's a good reason to make noise. See my magic door? Sorry. Good news, my daughter got accepted into the college. It's my wife's alma mater. She's got a couple of acceptance letters from different places, but this is kind of a preferred one, at least for my wife and I. So yeah, good for her. Good for her. She's persistent. My daughter is the epitome of persistent. She does not stop. Anyway, so there's so that's coming. I was gonna do it as a RB13, but since I got that KI61 kit, I'm gonna do a Tokyo, you know, not a Tokyo Raider, but a Pacific 29, and then I'm going to display it with that KI61. I think that'll be a nice display together. So that's the plan for that. Other than that, I've been playing with all these little goofy guys. And these are off of that 1/800th Coral C. And his rudder's gone. And these are really, there was more in the package. They give you a bunch of different stuff for different eras, which is cool, but these stupid things are multi-piece, and as you can see, they're really small, and because they're 1/800th, there's no like aftermarket decals or anything that are Sufficient for them or correct for them or whatever. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I may not. I don't know. I guess I can't use this A6. Where'd he go? Right here. Huh. I gotta put this guy back together, apparently. Anyway, so I need to get those painted up. And I was just looking at some photos because I need to paint the flight deck and stuff. And the stinking hull number on the front of the flight deck is the outline style. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I might just end up not here. So my thought was I might just be able to do a lot of the stuff with these pencils. If I get a really sharp tip on here, this lower hull is going to be different color, so whoop. Come on, I need a tip. You gonna give me a tip? Yeah, we're getting there. Okay. Oh man, I gotta get my head cleared out. I got a job interview tomorrow. Well, it's not perfect, but I just wanted to see. I don't know. Probably not going to work, but I'll figure something out. I mean, if worst comes to worst, I just mask everything and I have to do multiple maskings, right? Not a big deal. So that's it. I'm kind of at a place where I'm trying to keep myself from opening another kit or starting a kit. Do I need another JU-52? Well, I guess being fair, did I need another PBY5? No, I did not. But when it's $11.99 and it's sealed, yeah. Right? Right? So I guess the question is, how cheap is it? That's the question. That's the question. And not to get off topic, not that we really have a topic, but I was sitting around today thinking, oh, wow, would that be cool? Like a like a seaplane base diorama with two PBY5s moored up. That might be kind of cool. That might be kind of cool. I actually want to do one of the PBY5s that they had down at Corpus Christi. They had that was a training base for crews. Yeah, that is a deal. And I didn't realize how much of a deal. I didn't even see it. My wife saw it. It was on top of a clothing rack. And I mean, I figured it's a $40, $50 kit. I think I sold my Black Cat PBY5A, like Pro Model or PBY5A for like $50 a couple years back. But anyway, so I know it was worth more than $12, but then I started looking around online. I was like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. But so, oh man, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, yeah, that's a great kit. If you haven't built one of those, that's a great kit. It goes together really well. Low parts count. I think it's like less than 70 parts, and it looks great. I built one for a vet, for a veteran up in Grand Junction, and it's big. That's a big wing. You know, it's like the C-47. I mean, it's bigger than the C-47 wing. But, you know, you look at a C-47, you look at pictures and stuff, you're like, it's a twin. It can't be that big. Oh, really? It's big. It's really big. That C-47 is bigger than that B-26 by far. And this Catalina is definitely bigger than the C-47. So, yeah. What are they talking about? JU-52. Jeff, how many JU-52s do you have? I'm kind of afraid to ask. I think that's about all I had going on. Just one. It never hurts to have a spare. I know I'm not helping. But the shipping is what kills you. Like everything else, right? I gotta show you guys something cool. Has nothing to do with modeling. Look what I found. Now, sorry, it's a green cover. I don't know about you guys, but this was like a staple at my grandparents' house growing up. It's the 5-band with the AM radio and everything. This thing's even got the earphone in this box here. The only thing that's missing is this lower knob. The trim plate that goes inside is missing. But I'm a sucker for old nostalgic stuff. And yeah, so check that out. Leather case and everything. And it works. The instruction book is in here, the whole 9 yards. I think the lady I got it from, it was her dad's. Her dad bought it. And apparently never used it because, well, he must have used it once or something. But it's like brand new. Unfortunately, I live in a hole and we don't have any radio reception, but it's cool. It's cool. Sounds like the natives are getting restless. Late 70s vintage. Yeah, well, when I remember it would have been in the 70s, early to mid. Yeah, somewhere in the 70s. I don't know. Looking at the instructions, I would say it's earlier than that. It's Hong Kong. It's made in Hong Kong. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you know what? The instruction book is in here. Let's find out. I know I'm a geek. I can't help myself sometimes. I find these things and it's like, oh. Okay, let's see. Printed in Hong Kong. Full warranty. 90-day warranty. Yeah, we didn't do that lifetime warranty crap. Oh, look at that. A schematic. It's even got a schematic. You guys know anything about right to repair laws? If you don't, you will soon because it's coming to a car dealership near you. It's been a thing in the computer repair world for a while, but it's coming to a car repair. The car dealers, car manufacturers are starting to play this game that, hey, you can't fix your own car. Bulletin, Wednesday, August 11th. I don't know. This must be the place that they bought it from. But yeah, there's the ad. That looks kind of 50s to me. Maybe 60s. Early 60s. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. All I know is we had one as a kid, and I went, wow, that's cool. I gotta have that. No usable service parts inside. They give you a schematic, but then they say there's no user serviceable parts inside. That's funny. So yeah, right to repair. So that's basically the manufacturer saying you don't have the right to work on things that you bought, that you paid for. This really has nothing to do with any of this stuff, but just that's an important enough topic that everybody should really know something about it. And the bottom line is it leads down the path of having unserviceable items where, you know, basically the manufacturer says you can't fix it, and then they turn around and say we're not making the parts. Is that in terms of... No, it's not really voiding the warranty. I mean, they can make it that, but really it's about it's really about being told what you can and can't do with something that you own is what it boils down to. It's excuse me. So Apple products are a prime example. Apple, for the most part, doesn't fix stuff under warranty or any other way. For usually what they do is they will replace, you know, entire boards, or they don't fix things like at a board level. So say you had a MacBook Air and the IC that runs the charging voltage or the charging circuit blows up, and you want to get it fixed. Well, if you take it to an Apple repair center, they're going to tell you, we can't fix that. We have to replace the motherboard. It's going to be $1,400. Well, you know, it's a 4-year-old MacBook Air is worth a couple $100. What are you going to do, right? And then they typically lose your data in the process, but that's a whole different story. But so what their deal is so you take it to an independent repair guy, and he tells you, yeah, I can fix it. I can fix it for like $200 or $150 or whatever it is. It's it's typically they'll have like a flat rate charge, and then they'll just fix whatever it is. So they'll open it up and diagnose it and fix it. But they'll actually desolder the chip and solder a new chip in. And but Apple is actually trying to stop people from doing that, because they're saying it's violating their copyrights or whatever their deal is, or their intellectual property, or whatever their problem is. They just want to sell you a new machine and not allow you to fix your old one, is what it boils down to. Well, the same thing is starting to come into the automotive market because of all the electronics and stuff in the vehicles, and with these electronic transmissions and all this other stuff. I was just reading an article the other day, and I can't remember where, but this is coming along very, very, very soon. And it's one thing when it affects small markets or smaller markets, or not that Apple's a small market, but it's a specific subset of people that tend to buy Apple products. So that's one thing. It's not really one thing, because it's BS either way. But now you're starting to talk about cars. You're starting to talk about, there's conversations starting up saying, basically with manufacturers saying, you're not going to be able to do anything under the hood of your car. And I remember we talked about this 20, 30 years ago, 20 years ago anyway, in the automotive industry, that one of these days you're not going to be able to open the hood, because there's going to be nothing user serviceable in there. That day seems to have come. So we'll see. But this is a big deal. I don't know. It's insane in my opinion. If it's mine and I own it, I can do what I want with it. You can't tell me I can't fix it. Right? I don't understand. My dad's a TV repairman. He's got an awesome set of tools. And I can fix anything. So yeah, sorry to get off on a total tangent, but it's a topic that kind of really irks me, because it's like, you know what? You're not going to tell me that I can't work on something that I bought. I mean, that's just crap. In the case of, and you can say, well, they're not telling you can't work on it. You can still do it if you can find the parts. Well, yeah, that's part of it, but the other part of it is they can lock you out software wise. They can identify. I fixed what I. Yeah, they can identify. in today's world, with they can identify individual components, and they can identify. They have ways of identifying things down to the component level to where they can tell if you change the chip. And they could write it into the software that the software checks, the serial number or whatever identifier they have in this chip. And if it doesn't match, it locks the system. They can do that. And they are doing it in some cases. And that's where it becomes a problem. Because if it's mine and I own it and I can buy the chip or a chip that'll work and put it in there and make it and the machine will do its thing, then what the hell is it business of theirs? Because I bought the thing. I'm not leasing it, I own it. I'm not renting it from you, it's mine, right? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, kind of a hot topic with me, as you can probably tell. Yeah, right, Ken. I work on my own stuff for multiple reasons. One is there's not a whole lot of mechanics I trust. I'm sorry, but there's not. My brother I trust. But there's not. There's a couple of guys when I was selling parts that I would allow to work on my cars, but most of the guys that I delivered parts to, I wouldn't let touch my cars. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Anyway. But yeah, so I guess that's enough yak, and I guess I better go talk to my daughter and congratulate her and see what all that's about. I mean, she's next August seems like a long ways away, but you know how life is. And I need to get my clothes ready for tomorrow, be presentable. I think I'm gonna have to get a haircut on the way to the interview, and go from there. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna use to make this mold thing for this P-47. That's what I gotta do. So until next time, hey, take care of the people you love, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.